Folks, welcome back to the South Point Arena here in Las Vegas. We've got a female fight up next. Let's meet our contestants.
Let's bring out the blue corner, Rachael Cummins.
And Rachael Cummins, the first one to make her entrance tonight, 5'9" tall. We're fighting in the 130-pound division tonight. So a bit of a catchweight affair. Rachael Cummins, 26 years old, fighting out of Lake Forest, California. Fighting out of Rain Training Center, which is kind of one of the newer camps out there, but Mark Munoz's Rain Training Center is, I think, really doing some wonderful things out in Southern California. Mark Munoz is one of the nicest guys that you'll find anywhere in the sport, and obviously a great fighter as well. Rachael's been training since September of 2010, and just 0-1 on her career. Made her debut in August of 2011, suffered a first-round submission loss, but she's back to try to get her first win of her career. And Rachael Cummins, a preschool teacher and a volleyball coach, in addition to an amateur fighter.
Wow, that's a full plate. You know, obviously dealing with preschool kids all day and then having to deal with preschool kids again when you're teaching volleyball, because everybody knows that when you're dealing with athletes from at any sex, no matter what their gender is, we all like preschool kids. You know?
It's basically babysitting when it comes to athletes, that's for sure. Talking to Rachael before the fight, she said she scouted out her opponent's last fight and says that her opponent, Kristi Lopez, does like to strike a little bit, at least what she saw from the one fight that she's had in her career so much. So she's expecting this to be a stand-up affair. I haven't had an opportunity to see Rachael Cummins fight yet. I've got to think coming out of Rain Training Center, however, that she's going to have at least a little bit of a semblance of a grappling game.
Yeah, she got to have a better than a decent one. She spent a lot of time on the ground. And then hopefully we'll have some top game, because really in a women's game, that's the deciding factor, is being able to control that middle ground from the top to the bottom, getting people to the ground and being able to submit right away. Like if you look at all the better women right now out there, it's the ground game that makes the factor. Hopefully she picked that game up in her training.
Rachael Cummins lists her favorite fighters as the Diaz brothers, which anytime somebody lists the Diaz brothers as their fighter, that's automatic plus points for me. Also likes Dan Henderson and Vanderlei Silva. So if you go from those answers, at least, you got to think she wants to stand and bang and make this a brawl. And she really hopes to see women in the UFC someday, and she wants to be one of those women. So that is Rachael Cummins. Now let's meet her opponent.
And now the red corner, Kristi Lopez.
Kristi Lopez, standing 5'5" tall, fighting out of Hollywood, California, and Legends MMA. Cornered by Chris Riley and Eddie Bravo tonight, so you know she's going to be well prepared should this go to the ground, even though her first fight was more of a stand-up affair. She started training 3 years ago, initially trained in Puerto Rico, and has since moved to Hollywood, California, where she does train at Legends MMA. Big interest for her is just the feelings of being a warrior, and you like that attitude. She says, it's not about winning and losing and that sort of thing. It's about the fact that you go in there and you give it your all, and you never quit regardless. And Frank, talking to her is kind of interesting about her fighting inspirations. Inspired by her dad, who was a pro boxer, and she says also a phenomenal street fighter as well. So I like those that can take part in the unsanctioned fights as well. We take a look at the tail of the tape. As you can see, Kristi Lopez 1-0, Rachael Cummins 0-1. Kristi Lopez 2 years older, 4 inches shorter than Rachael Cummins. We'll see how that turns out in effective reach. And of course, this is a 130-pound affair. So Kristi Lopez looking to stay undefeated. Rachael Cummins looking to win her first fight. And both women look in good shape. They look like they're ready to fight. I'm a big fan of female fighting. I think this is a key time in the sport for female fighting. Obviously, probably the biggest name in the sport, Gina Carano, is on the sideline chasing a Hollywood dream. The other biggest name, Christiana Cyborg Santos, unfortunately got pop positive for a PED, and she's on the shelf as well. Tough time for women's mixed martial arts, but I'm a big fan of the game. Many times they will come in and steal the show as they fight with reckless abandon. We'll see if that's the case tonight. Looking forward to this one. Let's take it up for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 9th fight of the evening in the women's 130-pound weight class. Introducing first in the blue corner, weighing in at 131 pounds with no wins and 1 loss, fighting out of Rain Training Center, Lake Forest, California. Here is Rachael Cummins. Her opponent stands across the cage in the red corner with 129 pounds, with 1 win and no losses, fighting out of Legends, Hollywood, California. Here is Kristi Violencia Lopez. Ref in charge of the action is Nick Jones.
Okay, we've already gone over the rules. Remember to protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Touch gloves, go back to your corners.
All right, so it's Rachael Cummins in the blue and white, Kristi Lopez in the black and camouflage, John Morgan, Frank Trigg here in South Point Arena in Las Vegas. Female action. Let's get it underway. Cummins with a high kick right away. Got her hands wide, kind of a kickboxing stance, though. So she really wants to strike. And as I say that, she clinches.
She's looking right for the takedown. She had that sideward step and the outside body position. You're right. It wasn't more of a Thai stand-up hand game, but she was planting her feet too heavy for any kind of knees or kicks.
Kristi Lopez circles off. Does
Good
have
position.
an underhook, double underhooks.
Cummins has both her arms overwrapped with double overs. Who's going to win this battle?
Interesting. Not only, well, now she let it go, but she had the double overs and pulling in. Now she's going to go for the neck. She's a bit taller. Maybe she can get a little bit of leverage on Kristi Lopez. Tough to finish that choke on the feet, but when you're a taller opponent like that, and she's got kind of those long, thin limbs that I think could be dangerous in that type of submission.
That's actually a choke I was working today with Neil Mellison from that position. There's actually a really quick finish if you know how to jam your arms across, but she was kind of in a weird spot to get to it. Well,
They
Cummins,
clinch
when
again.
she steps in, she turns her face away. Almost like she's scared for the attack, but she does such a good job of getting the fight to the ground underneath her own terms.
Did a great job of moving to the back there, but Kristi Lopez set back, got her hips up on top of Cummins' hip. Not as bad of a situation.
Almost back in the same spot, back on their feet again.
30 seconds left in this opening round. Rachael Cummins on the outside pressing in.
Well, the first minute and a half, you can see obviously what's going to happen. Lopez wants to keep it up on her feet and strike, and Cummins wants to get down to the ground as quickly as she can.
Got a timeout here. I think that shot looked like it landed to the spine. Referee Nick Jones in there giving a warning. Not sure what it was from. It looked like she hit right on the back. Rachael Cummins breathing very hard.
She's spending a lot of energy. Wrestling and grappling takes a lot of work out of you. A lot of energy, a lot of muscle. Oh, great right hand.
Nice right hand. Kristi Lopez looked like she was going to defend early, but now she's on her back. We're in the final 10 seconds of this opening round. Rachael Cummins on top, a high half mount.
Getting that knee, trying to feed down that arm, trying to get on top of Lopez. Wow.
Round ends there. You know, a lot of stalemate against the clinch. Rachael Cummins very slow to get up. I think she's, like you said, Trick, spent a lot of energy trying to get that takedown. But I've got Rachael Cummins taking the opening round. I think she was controlling more of the action in the clinch. She had the late takedown. She had the nice right hand right here in front of us. Not a ton of action to judge from, but I've got Rachael Cummins taking that opening round.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachael Cummins did a way better job. She had full position, and yeah, was sloppy on her feet with her striking ability, but she did a lot more of controlling, holding the position, and making the fight go where she wants to go. Lopez was on a defensive wheel the entire time.
And Kristi Lopez didn't look overwhelmed. It looked like she was comfortable against the cage. It looked like even when she was on her back, she knew what to do and how to approach it. Just wasn't able to execute what she was looking to do. So I think the biggest thing here is, and again, looking at Rachael Cummins in the corner, very heavy breathing over there. Going to be interesting to see what she's got left over the final 2 rounds. Kristi Lopez looks fresh, even though she lost that opening round. So it's Rachael Cummins in the white and blue, Kristi Lopez the black and camo. We've got Rachael Cummins taking that opening round, but doing so by spending a lot of energy. We'll see what happens in round 2.
This is one of those things, about women's MMA that kind of throws me off a little bit, is that they always try to have, the women want to have super skinny bodies, but they don't have any energy if they have that kind of skinniness. You have to have a little bit extra meat on your bones, a little extra fat for that energy at the end of the second and third round.
Look at this opening sequence from Rachael Cummins. Went to her back, but then had the nice heel pick for a sweep there. Ended up on her back again, but that's an okay guard. She's got her legs very high.
Oh, she's just clean one arm out. She's in a perfect triangle spot. If she swings over right now, she has an arm bar.
Trying to get that right leg in front.
I was saying earlier, the women try to get themselves in such good shape and be so skinny, that it's really difficult for them to have extra energy going into the late rounds. Like even Ronda Rousey right now is really concentrating on her diet because she is so big for the weight class, and she can't be a skinny girl. Like athletes can't be skinny girls. They have to have some extra meat in their bones for power and for technique and for be able to recover in between rounds. And so it's a kind of weird dichotomy right now with women's MMA where these girls are coming in far too skinny and can't give us the best fights that they could.
Well, I thought that was great work there in that transition. If you can see, Rachael Cummins actually used her foot to grab the cage and help spin her over. That is not illegal. Grabbing with the hands is.
She's got a nice body triangle, but she's slipping back off onto her back again. Her limbs are so long, and there's so much space when you have that body triangle. She's able to let Lopez out and able to spin.
Kristi Lopez in top position, but she's been defending throughout. There's 30 seconds left in the second round. You can see the flexibility again by Rachael Cummins as she's trying to roll over for that armbar. Nice up kick. Rachael Cummins working from her back, trying to land an up kick. Kristi Lopez standing over. Final seconds of the second round. Cummins will not allow Kristi Lopez to come inside. The round's going to end there. And I'll tell you what, Frank Trigg, this is going to be an interesting one to score because I thought Rachael Cummins was really one that was kind of dictating what was happening there. She was the one working from her back. She was the one that was looking to sweep. She was the one more active. But how many times have we seen in mixed martial arts that judges reward top position over anything else? How do you have this one scored?
Right now I honestly have Cummins up 2 rounds to none. But from a judging standpoint, I understand all facets of the game. We still have a problem with the judging. The judges only understand either only grappling or only the boxing stand-up game. They don't understand the whole game yet, so they're really giving a lot bigger value to somebody just being on top and defending as opposed to a person being underneath and doing all the offense.
I completely agree with you, Frank Trigg. I've got Rachael Cummins up in this fight 2 rounds on. I think she was the one that was dictating what was happening in that round. She was the one looking for submissions. She was the one looking for sweeps. But I am very afraid, and we are here in Las Vegas. The NSAC has some of the most seasoned judges in all of MMA. But I'm a little bit afraid that they just awarded top position there and this thing's even.
John, you don't have to say that. Keith Carter's not coming to your house to give you a drug test, so don't worry about it. You're fine, okay?
Oh, thankfully. All right, Rachael Cummins in the white and blue. Kristi Lopez, the black and camel. 130-pound action here. Third and final round. Could be 2-0 Rachael Cummins. Could be 1-1. We just don't know. So this third round is going to be a key frame all the way around. For Kristi Lopez, you got to push because I don't think you can count on the fact that you won that. Rachael Cummins has a leg caught, tried to pull guard there. Lopez continues to press in.
Well, good position by Cummins. She immediately stepped back into it. She got hit a couple times when that leg was caught. Lopez is doing a great job now. You can tell that Cummins has gotten tired, and she's starting to get pushed around a little bit more.
Lopez does have the neck wrapped on that left side, but again, against a taller opponent, that's very, very difficult to finish that choke.
Cummins is trying to battle out of it. It is a little bit tight. It's giving her some bother. It's not really in a position to finish yet, but she's really in there getting worried about it a little bit because she's starting to dig hands, and she doesn't have the energy to explosively attack and throw Lopez to the ground.
Yeah, that forearm is getting under the neck. Boy, Kristi Lopez is going to try to wrench this, and I don't know if she wants to pull guard like that, but big slam as she falls back.
And that was all from her head popping out. That's the only reason why she slammed like that.
Yeah, that was an odd defense. I don't know why she tried to pull guard essentially at that moment. If anything, she would have fallen back and had a guillotine on top of her.
Wow, now she's getting real active with those heels. She caught Lopez on the head a couple times, and she's caught her legs three different times. So she's getting real active with these legs, and she's good position to get into knee bars and heel hooks, but she's not really attacking them.
Looking for the up kicks as well. Look at the arms underneath, holding that left leg in place. Interesting position from Rachael Cummins. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Kristi Lopez trying to pound away here in the final seconds. Best round for Kristi Lopez by far. And that's going to do it for the fight. Frank Trigg, I've got Kristi Lopez taking that third round pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Rachael Cummins, you can see her corner. They want her to get up and walk around. I don't know how much that works, but, put your hands up, try to steal it. I've got Kristi Lopez taking the third. I've got Rachael Cummins in the first. It's all going to come down to the second round. As we watch the replay here, Kristi Lopez was wrenching this choke. Seemed like you said, Frank Trigg was giving Rachael Cummins some bother, and then this inexplicable move to guard. I didn't get it.
She just jumps out of it. Her head pops out, and we know you're trying to get your head out. So you get your head out, protect your head. Don't slam it off the canvas. But she let her head pop out, and she slammed it off the canvas on her way down. Was not a smart position for her, and really because the way the action was going, that could have given Lopez a bigger push now in the judge's mind. We got to see what happens.
Yeah, this is going to be very close. Rachael Cummins is exhausted. Give her credit for fighting through to the end. Meanwhile, Kristi Lopez looks fresh, looks confident. She's kind of doing a little mean mugging over there in the corner, to be honest with you. It's all going to come down to the second round.
You know what? This is like the third time tonight it's coming out of the second round. We got to see what the judges come up with.
Absolutely. Let's bring them together in the official result. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we have your winner by split decision. The red corner, Kristi Violencia Lopez.
So there you go, Frank. Came down to the second round. 2 of the 3 judges gave it to Kristi Lopez. I don't know. Kristi Lopez had top position. I thought Cummins was the busier fighter, but we see it over and over in mixed martial arts. No surprise there. So Kristi Lopez moves to 2-0. Rachael Cummins falls to 0-2. Great fight all the way around. The women did turn in a great performance at all. Stay tuned for more from South Point Arena here in Las Vegas. We've got 3 title fights up next here at Tuff-N-Uff, the future stars of mixed martial arts.